How's it going, everyone? It is Prashaun here, and I am taking over for Pulse Glazer. I'm sorry if you're used to Pulse being here, but he's on a little vacay, so I'm here. And since I have this platform, it's only right for me to share my platform, right? So go ahead and follow me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Twitch. That way you could check out gameplay and decks on the daily. You see Glazer talk about decks, and then you'll see me play them. So make sure you're doing all that good stuff before we get into it. And then shout out to Glazer. Thank you for picking me out to do this and trusting me with putting a video on your channel. So let's go right into it. Is speed good? I know a lot of you are saying that he's a boring card, and yes, he is. And I think boring cards are good. I think when you don't have cards that are so polarizing, right? Where you have Hydra Bob, where nobody wanted him, and the play rate's super low, and then you have arishem, where arishem everyone got arishem. I'm pretty sure like 95% of snappers got arishem, only 5% got Bob. So I think speed is right in the middle, right where he should be. He's an average card. You play him, you set him, and you forget him. I think there's times I forget that he's ongoing. So he goes pretty well with Mystique. He goes pretty well with Spectrum decks, and he plays pretty well on curve. So I think he's a very good card, very safe card. And the fact that you're not hearing too much bad about him makes him good, right? So let's go into some decks that I found with speed in it, and then another spicy one as well. So let's get into the decks. So here is the first deck here. This is from KM Best. I don't know what he called it. I stole it from his Twitter. So here's the deck. We have Kitty Pryde, Maria Hill, Nico, Thena, Angela, Kate Bishop, Cassandra, Speed, Loki, Wiccan, Ultron, and Alioth. So here you want to play as much on curve as possible. You want to maximize your energy, especially when you have cards like Speed and Wiccan in your deck. So Kitty Pryde helps out a ton, especially when you have those odd number of turns. So like turns 3 and 5, you want to try to fill in with Kitty Pryde, right? So Maria Hill is in this deck. That way you get a 2-drop regardless, which is a pretty smart idea. I think that sometimes what happens is when you play the game, you might not have any of your 1-drops, which sucks, right? So you can try to put in cards like Quicksilver if you want. You could put in Domino if you want. If you're not too reliant on that Maria Hill value. And of course we have Nico. Nico's a Swiss Army knife. She could do so many things. And then Thena and Angela, the best 2-drops in the game, right? Thena recently got nerfed. She's a 2-0, but she's still pretty good. She packs a punch. You have Kate Bishop here just to play on curve 2. So if you don't have any 3-drops in your hand by turn 2, you can always play Kate Bishop. And then you can utilize those arrows to fill out your curve. You have Cassandra here just to scare those arishem decks. And then, of course, you have Speed, the set it and forget it card. And then Loki is here like just in case. Like break this glass just in case of emergency. Especially if you have Wiccan in your hand too, I would utilize Loki. That way you could play more cards than they can. Alioth is key at times because he could just destroy whatever they have going on, especially when you have those Ultron mirrors, right? Like you could just play Alioth and then you just ruin their game plan. And then Ultron is here just to fill up the board too. Like just in case of emergency, you could play Ultron and another card. That way Thena could get that buff, especially if you play Wiccan. If you don't want to play Ultron, I think Dr. Doom is a good card. If you don't want to play Alioth or you don't have Alioth, Shang-Chi is always a good option as well. Or any other tech card as well. You could put in Enchantress, Shadow King. You just have to be mindful of your own cards, especially Thena, Angela, and Cassandra. Overall, this deck is pretty good. I think it's pretty solid, especially since he's playing in the higher level tier of ranked, right? If he's having success there, you should have success in the lower tiers. And then in the next deck we're going to go into is Iron Speed by Drewski. I recently recorded a video with him. It should be on my channel soon. Pretty good deck here. So we have Kitty Pryde, Korg, Nico, Thena, Ravonna Renslayer. I almost messed up her name. Kate Bishop, Mystique, Rock Slide, Speed, Wiccan, Iron Man, and Darkhawk. So another deck trying to utilize Speed and Wiccan and trying to play the best on curve as you can. We have Kitty Pryde, Korg, and Nico. And of course, you have Kate Bishop. You have Kate Bishop and the arrows to utilize just to keep on going with curve. Mystique is pretty flexible in this deck as well. She could copy Speed because Speed is ongoing. She could copy Iron Man or she could copy Darkhawk. And of course, anytime you have Darkhawk, you have the Rocks package with Korg and Rock Slide. That way you can just disrupt what they have going on, especially against arishem decks, right? Like it could mess up everything since they now have more cards. And it seems like anytime you play a rock, you get a rock on the other end, or it seems like it's always like that for me. And Ravonna has high value too. She basically discounts Thena, Iron Man, and Mystique, which is pretty awesome. And then that's pretty much it. You set it, forget it. You try to take over 2 lanes. This deck doesn't go that wide. It can at times. You can fill up the board and utilize the energy with Wiccan and Ravonna on the board. But most of the times you want to attack 2 lanes. That way you can secure the dub. This deck does not have any tech. It's all gas, no brakes. So just be careful there too if you want to switch out. Like maybe you could switch out a Rock Slide or take out a Korg and try to put in some tech if you want. That would be the best option, the switch out, I think. But it's all gas, no brakes, just stats. You just want stats on the board. You just want to win. And this deck does so. And then next, we have Average Size Man Thing by Revis. Recently did a video with him on my channel going over this deck. It's a pretty awesome deck. You have Hood, Nico, Shadow King, White Widow, Kate Bishop, Mysterio, Copycat, Man-Thing, Sentry, Annihilus, Cersei, and Mockingbird. With Ultron, Sandman Ultron taking over the meta, I think Junk is a good counter for it because you just fill up their board space and they don't know what to really do, especially when you have cards like the Hood, you have White Widow, you have the Acid Arrow from Kate Bishop, and then you have the Void from Sentry, and you can just swing that all over. And then if you can't swing it over, you have Cersei to make up for it. Or you could fake them out and think that you're going to send it all over, and you just use Cersei. And then Mockingbird and Mysterio go well together, and as well as the demon that you get for the Hood, you get a cheap Mockingbird. Copycat is pretty awesome in this deck too. If you don't want to play Copycat, Cassandra is pretty good. And then Man-Thing could win you a lane, especially if they're going super small in the lane with a bunch of like 1 or 2 drops. You could win a lane there. Shadow King is so good as a tech card. I don't think it's utilized as much as I think it should be, but Shadow King is awesome. It takes out those nebulas. It takes out those sunspots. It takes out all those cards. And then, of course, we have Annihilus to throw all the junk over, just in case they throw it at you too, right? Because White Widow is played in a lot of decks. So if they give you that Widow's Kiss, just kiss them back. Throw it back with love from Annihilus. And Cersei, she has so much value. You don't really have that many bad drops with Cersei, especially since you're playing like Mysterio. And then you're, the Sentry with the Void. That's pretty much the location you want to do that in, is the right. So the Void, like there's not that many bad 5 drops that can mess you up. It's not like, and then there are bad 2 drops. So be careful if you put the Hood in that lane because it could be a Carnage and you don't want that to happen. And also Mysterio too, you could get a Deathlock and that's a bad feeling too. But overall, this deck is pretty good, pretty spicy. Me and Revis played this together. He guided me through it and we got a lot of dubs. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. I probably said that out of order. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you, Glazer, again, for letting me talk about some decks on your channel. I hope you guys liked it. And then he does have a Season Pass giveaway. I don't know the details of the Season Pass giveaway, but he's doing one. So I'm pretty sure you have to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you're following him everywhere. That way you're up to date on the details because the new season is coming up soon. Or is it for this season? I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure he'll let you know. And next, we have the Snap Judgments Alliance. He currently has 13 alliances, which is insane. I'm not that cool to have 13. I only have one, and it's still counting, 13 and counting. He'll do more as needed, so make sure that you're a Patreon member, and it's free to join, right? Is it free to join? Priority is given to Patreon members. So make sure you're a Patreon member. I'm a Patreon member. It's just $1 a month. And the only thing you must do is join the Discord and grab the Seeking Alliance role. And the link will be in the description. And only thing, that's it. And you could join. So he hopes to see you there. And then there's a tournament. I'm not sure when. Is it today? Is it tomorrow? I don't know. Just follow him on Discord for all the up-to-date news. And then shout out to the stream team. We stream every day for the most part. I try to stream every day, but I do have YouTube content every day on my channel. That way you guys can see me play some of these decks out for myself, since Glazer does not put me on his channel at all with any of my decks, which makes me sad. But he made up for it for having me here. So we have mostly Power On team members here. So we have Gregor. He streams Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays, it's me at 12 p.m. Eastern, but I usually stream whenever my heart's content. So make sure you have notifications on for me for Twitch, because I can be on at any given time. On Wednesdays, we have Gaming with Flash at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have Parry and Manilow at 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. Tuccrr on Fridays. Saturdays, FaThorNewman. And Sundays, KingofCanada. And each will release a video of their gameplay the next day. I didn't know that, but I usually post up my Twitch VODs, or you might see me on YouTube playing some of these decks. And then next year, let's see. Next year we have good old Patreon here with Snap Judgments. So make sure you're following Glazer on Patreon. Like I said, it's only $1 a month for the lower tier. But if you want to be a higher tier and you want to make it to this YouTube video, just, I believe it's $10 and you get your name here. And I see a lot of cool names here. I see Docty. Shout out to Docty. I think Tucker's on here. Shout out to Tuccrr. FaThorNewman. Shout out to him. So a lot of peeps here. Gunny's here. Like, there's a lot of people here. Ryan Wood, Cables, Matt, Darth, Tater, like Jason, JD, Fuzzy. So shout out to all you guys for supporting the channel. Glazer really does appreciate it. He does give back to the community, which I love, and I try to give back too, right? So that is it for this video. Final thoughts: just subscribe, Patreon, Snap Judgments. Also, give me a follow, a shout, whatever. I do appreciate it too. I think I'm growing as well. And shout out to Glazer for all the support he does for the Snap community. And I believe that is it. So peace out, guys. Be safe. Keep on snapping. And I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully Glazer has me on the pod. You guys always want me on the pod. So hopefully he has me on the pod soon. And then me and him will talk face to face. And Glazer, I hope you're having an amazing vacation too. And I hope all of you guys had a good summer and all that good stuff too. So later, guys. Peace.